You know, Cooper, most cats just kind of go lay somewhere in the frame, but you just want to get on up in here. Thank you. Nope, now you want to show everybody your butt. Whenever you're done, sir. Hello everybody and welcome to my new filming location. My name is April and yeah, I just recently kind of did a bookshelf reorganization. You will be seeing that soon. But you finally have something to look at back here. Today we're going to be going through my Kindle reading list because I just finished Fantasy Romance February and I kind of went crazy and I clicked add to list on like 70 fantasy romance books, but I'm not going to go over all 70 for you today. I will just hit like 10 or 11 that are the spiciest of this list that I'm kind of looking forward to reading. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first spicy fantasy romance book on my TBR on Kindle Unlimited is Doves and Demons by Cleo Evans. Now, I think this literally just came out, March 14th, 2023. This is a Why Choose Steampunk monster romance. Now, you've already said some keywords there for me, which is Why Choose and monster romance. But in this, you have a Mothman, an Unseelie, and a demonic plague doctor. I thought all of those were interesting and more unique. And yeah, Irene is kidnapped by a gang of monsters. There's kidnapping. All right. And it says this is a very spicy, dark, and why choose steampunk monster romance. So it went on the list. Now, a lot of these are new to me authors, so I don't know anything about them. And for some reason, when I looked up spicy, a lot of them are going to be why choose, but not all of them. Not all of them. So the next one is The Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. This, again, is a why choose orc dark fantasy romance, and it's from the Royal Fae series. So it says The Wolf in Sheep's Clothing is a dark fantasy RH novel, which I don't use that term. I always say why choose. She has been chained up and she has some very temporary freedom until an orc clan mistakes her for a murderer. So it sounded really interesting and I really like the cover. So the next one on this list is a novella. This is The Scepter by Jay Bree. Now, Jay Bree is the author of the Bonds That Tie series, which I really, really loved. This one also just came out in February. And this is part of her new fantasy romance series. So while it doesn't specifically say spicy romance, it does say recommended for 18 and over. And it's a prequel novella to her next series. So in this one, you have a sister and brother. They're running away from home because they are the last witches of their area. And then they are trying to find this seer to help them. And they're, I don't know, getting into things, going across landscapes. Sounds like a road trip thing. Hopefully not a road trip romance between her and her brother. That would be weird, but I don't think so. It sounds like they're going to meet up with a seer or somebody else, and I'm thinking it will be spicy. It may not be because Jay Bree, her first book in the Bonds That Tie series wasn't spicy at all, but it definitely built up to that later in the later books. So I'm adding it to the list. The next book I have on this list is called Fireseed, and this is by Val St. Croix. This is a dragon romance that the dragon doesn't shift. I think. So I added this to my list when I was reading those damn dino books. And I was like, I don't mind if they don't shift, but again, they need to have agency and communicate. They need to be able to communicate with humans in order for it to work for me. So this one, again, It's a gas lamp fantasy romance. It features very proper characters driven by magical means to do shocking things. And that's all I needed to know about this. So yes, it's a dragon romance where the dragon doesn't shift. Okay? It's on the list. All right, the next one I totally added to my list just because it says that she's the sole survivor of the Van Helsing family, and this one's called Bite of Loyalty by R.L. Calder. And she is a vampire hunter who was turned into a vampire, and now she's having to infiltrate this academic setting, but it's not high school, so it probably is more new adult. And she apparently meets up with 3 vampires that gets her blood boiling for other reasons. So I thought this was interesting, and I'm having a vampire moment too. I really like a lot of the vampire books you can kind of see back here. Blood Orange, K.A. Tucker's series has vampires. Oh my god, the Holly Renee series has vampires. So more vampires, more better. As long as they're not sparkly, we're not like a Twilight vampire loving person here. No. We want some vicious vampires, okay? So the next book on my list is A Lady of Darkness by Melissa Roerich. Hopefully I said that right. I really don't know much about this, and the synopsis doesn't tell me a heck of a lot, but it does say that there is some kind, her name is Scarlet, and there's some kind of assassin lord, and there's also a fae prince. I don't know what happens, but it does say that it is book 1 of 5, so this is going to be a very long series. It's new adult, it's dark fantasy romance. It features slow burn, enemies to lovers tropes, may have triggers, sexual scenes, references to sexual trauma, so violence, jealousy, possessive themes. It does end on a cliffhanger, but it is also for fans of Sarah J. Maas, Jennifer L. Armentrout, Raven Kennedy. So it sounded good, and I love all those authors. I love when they put that. Anytime an author puts like, for fans of Sarah J. Maas, I'm gonna read it. Like, it's just like, I hate to be one of those people, but I just love that shit. So I added it to the list. The next one is a total like cover download. Like, I just love anything with skulls on it. And this is Kiss of Death by Alice Wilde. This sounds like a Cinderella stepmother type situation. It talks about like her father never finding love again, but then as soon as somebody arrives, like with her 2 sons, things happen. And then in it says it is a dark fantasy series centered around a mashup of mythological and fantasy retellings that is slow burn, slow build, multiple love interests, shifters, forbidden love, multi-POV, dark themes, cliffhangers, twists, spice, betrayal, heartache, redemption, and so much more. Looks like there's 2 books out so far, so I don't know how many are in the series, but it definitely sounds interesting enough for me to check it out. The next one looks cute, but it also says it has high heat. So this is Heart of the Fae by Emma Hamm. I saw Ava from Ava Reads Romance talk about this book, and it sounded really, really interesting. It says, when a plague sweeps across the Emerald Hills, Sorsha makes a deal with the dangerous Fae to save her people. And now she must travel the sea, explore Marrow and Kelpie lands, and find a forgotten king to a crumbling throne. So it sounds like, again, a road trip romance of some kind with maybe an enemies to lovers type thing. Possibly. The cover is stunning, and yeah, can't wait for it. So this one's more adorable cover, but I also think it's stunning. And this one's Claimed by the Orc Prince. This is a male fantasy romance, and it's part of a trilogy. And it has an elven prince and the son of an orc warlord. And they're 2 warring nations, and they have to get an arranged marriage. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It does say this is a steamy male-male fantasy romance. The first in trilogy, arranged marriage with a delicious size difference. Ooh. Contains light Omegaverse ABO elements. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not a huge like understanding of Omegaverse yet. 18 and over novel, explicit scenes. Gotta love them. And if that's not your thing, then this author isn't for you, because apparently they love spicy scenes. Well, I love spicy scenes, so Lionel Hart, I think you are for me. This is another one with a skull on the cover. You put a skull and a dagger and some flowers on the cover. I mean, come on. I'm so easy to please. This one's called Darkest Night, Mercenaries of Magic by Alessa Thorne, another new author for me. It looks like there's 4 books in this series. This says a mercenary with a dark past, an ex-assassin with a flair for magic, and a rivalry that will turn even the most brutal enemies to lovers. You don't need to say any more. I get that. Morally gray characters and dark humor. Gotta love humor. Contemporary fantasy romance that contains graphic violence, swearing, and steamy sex scenes. So this just sounds really, really cool. I love a good rivalry, and I love morally gray characters or ambiguously gray characters. I'll even take 2 villains together. I mean, come on, let's do that. I'm all here for it. The next one is called The Curse and the Broken, and this is by Chloe Hodge. Again, this has 2 books out. It says series, so I don't know if there's more coming. The first one was published in April, so The Curse and the Broken, and it says, years ago, the Dark Queen was executed by witches, her cultists hunted down like rats and forced into hiding, their black magic buried and put to rest. All was well in the world, or so we thought. So this sounds like a witch kind of romance type thing. Betrothal, arranged marriage. It says a story of succumbing to wicked desires, death, and the temptations of deliciously dangerous love. The Cursed and the Broken is a steamy enemies to lovers, dark fantasy romance, perfect for fans of SJM. Sarah J. Maas, Carrie Maniscalco. No broomsticks or cauldrons here. Only magic of the darkest kind and dimples to swoon over. Ooh, dimples. Yeah, this looks great. And I also really love this cover too. I love a good white cover. We don't have a lot of white covers in fantasy. So this is really cute. I thought there were cats on the cover, but they look like wolves. Wolves and knives. Love it. And the last one I want to talk about is Against Dark Tides. Now, this is a second book. The first book I just recently read was Beneath Black Sails by Claire Sager. I really enjoyed it. This is a pirate romance between a pirate hunter and a lady pirate. And they are definitely enemies to lovers. And in the first book, they have some adventures on the sea where they slowly fall in love with each other. And this is the second book, so I don't want to say too much about it, but this is a newer to me author, and it is definitely steamy. They have definite steamy times. There is so much chemistry between these two, and I really, really enjoyed it. I friggin' love a good pirate romance, and if you're looking for a pirate romance, you need to try out this series. So that's all I have for spicy romances on my Kindle Unlimited TBR. Do any of these sound interesting to you? I just love fantasy romance, and I love to like kind of mixing it up a little bit, but also with, you know, things that I always go for. Leave me a comment below if you have another spicy fantasy romance recommendation that you think I should add to my list. And as always, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.